All right. So here's what you're going to learn today. And welcome to the masterclass, How to Grow Your Business with Government Contracts. I'm really excited that you guys are on today. Like, it's my honor to be able to share this information that has evolved and transformed my business. So I'm definitely interested in helping other women, empower them with tools and resources that can help them scale and grow their business. So what you're going to learn today is the $1 trillion secret that all businesses should know. I wrote and coined the book $1 trillion secret because what I've learned in this industry has definitely helped me to grow. So I wrote a book about it that I offer for free, so other people can at least get introduced to the information about government contracting. So you're going to learn about the $1 trillion secret that most businesses or all businesses should know. I'm going to also share my testimony of how I landed my first $70,000 contract. You will knowing absolutely nothing about contracting, having no portfolio, knowing nothing about proposal writing or anything. So how I landed that and more. And how much the government spends on small businesses, what you need to do to participate in this $1 trillion industry, which is actually key. So, but before we begin, make sure you get focused, silence your phones, which I've already muted you guys, and definitely, again, save your questions for the end. Now, who is this for? Entrepreneurs. Before I get to that, when I talk about government contracting, a lot of times it goes over people's head because they're thinking that's a huge concept to really, try to get to understand, or they may be like, well, that's not for me, or I sell water, or I do business consulting, or I'm a nail designer or a hairstylist, and government contracting just doesn't fit. Doesn't sound like it applies to me, but definitely it applies for everybody. So if you're an entrepreneur, aspiring entrepreneur, a freelancer, a business owner, or if you call yourself a boss, or you have a side hustle, or you may just be working for another corporation and you're really not satisfied. You may be that depressed employee who's not satisfied with your line of work. So this is definitely for you. So again, if you do carpet cleaning, janitorial services, public relations, marketing, project management, everything from photography down to selling bottled water, right? Anything that you can think of under the rainbow, this is definitely for you. So make sure you pay attention. Okay, so you've been wondering, how do I grow my small business? Where can I find quality customers who pay top dollars for what I provide? Can I really turn my hobby into a paycheck? You absolutely can. Am I wasting my time? How is it that some small businesses succeed while others struggle? I'm pretty sure we've all wondered that at one time or another. Is there anything out there to help a small business? You're going to find out that information today. Now, I'm going to pause right here and just give you a brief introduction of myself, and I'll go more into who I am a little bit later. But I grew up in Baby Hunters Point, which is one of the inner city areas of San Francisco. I'm the fourth of 7 children. 2 of my siblings are on this webinar today, so I'm excited to be able to share this information with them. So I grew up number 4 of 7 children who grew up in a single family household. Now, our mom, she worked her her butt off. So she's like the hardest working mother that I've ever known, have ever seen, just work to provide for us 7 kids as a single parent. We didn't have a whole lot, but what we did have taught me how to make the best out of any situation. And one thing I always wanted was to beat the statistics of growing up in the inner city. I wanted to start a business and just do whatever it took for me to achieve my dreams. And, being an entrepreneur is one of those things. And I'm going to get more into that story just later. But what I did learn when starting my business was there's a lot of information out there. There's a lot of people who's going to tell you this and other people who will tell you that. And sometimes the information is conflicting. But 3 top things that I've learned in business, I'm going to share with you. I'm going to remix the 3 common lies about business that you may hear, right? Here's the first misconception about business, that you should plan to make 0 profit in your first 1 or 2 years. A lot of times business coaches or business programs, they will tell you go into business but expect to make 0, right, for the first 1 or 2 years. So that's a total misconception, because what happens is People, they go into business with this mentality and thinking with the outlook that because you're just new to business, you shouldn't expect to make a profit. But what happens is, because of the laws of the universe, when you go into business thinking that, that's what you're going to get. So you get what you think about. Thoughts are things, right? So the energy that you put out there is what you're going to get in return. So you should definitely go into business knowing that your business idea is profitable, which is why you're in business. You're in business to make a profit, unless you have a nonprofit. But you still, as a nonprofit, need to be in business thinking about how you're going to make money to support your staff, how to run your programs. So every business, no matter if it's for profit or nonprofit, definitely think about how you're going to make money in that business. And here's a fact. Contractors make more than employees, period, because you can charge more, right? So you can take more home and get a business write-off when you have your own business. So that's key. Here's a second misconception about business. All the business funding programs are designed to help men. That's a total misconception, right? What happens is people start this rumor, and without doing any due diligence of, for themselves, the same becomes the norm. So the truth is, there are not only grants that's set aside for women, but there's trillions of dollars in government contracts that are set aside for women-owned businesses only. And I'm going to show you some of that information today. So the fact is, there's money out there for you. You just have to know where to get it and how to position your business to win. So here's an additional fact to the misconception that all funding and programs for businesses are set aside for men. So what you're looking at right now, hopefully you can see my screen, is federal contracts that was awarded to women-owned businesses in 2017, or between 2008 and 2017. So now this is in the trillions of dollars. So $500 trillion was awarded to to small businesses in 2017. And out of that, 589 million went to women-owned small businesses. And this information is available on usaspending.gov. Okay, here's the third misconception. You have no competition. I hear this all the time. And when I went into business and wrote my first halfway business plan, I was thinking the same thing. Oh, nobody can do what I do, But the truth of the matter is, everybody has competition, right? But when you focus on your competition, then that's when you get, you get distracted, right? You focus on competition and get distracted, thinking people are stealing your ideas, and it takes your focus off of where it should be, right? So in this business, when it comes to government contracting, there's so much money on the table that it doesn't matter when people are in your same lane, because it's enough money for everybody. And in my belief is that what God has for me and what God has for you is for me, and it's for you, right? So it doesn't matter. In this business, you can learn how to turn your competition into partners, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So you don't have to worry about being in the same lane. Definitely, when you build teams and come together and work, everybody wins. So why is this important to you right now? You have an existing business or a business idea, and your business can be profitable, but you're not sure how to get it off the ground or get it from where it is. You don't have any customers, or you only have a few here and there, and you know that having regular paying customers is the heartbeat to stay in your business, but it's been a slow process. You're on a hamster wheel. How do I scale my business? How do I break through this earning ceiling? How do I live the life I really want to live? But imagine this. Imagine building a $1 million business. How do I do that? Now, this concept, to me, it never even crossed my mind until I connected with Christiane Anise, she's got her own network about $1 million business. Anybody can make $1 million business. So here's what she showed me, the $1 million math, right? It's all about the math, you guys. So this is just one way, right, of thinking about building $1 million business for yourself. You just got to do the math, and the numbers are there, right? But there's other ways in addition to doing that. Imagine building your business in a way that is fundable so that you can leverage business credit and as well as business loans, right? And then positioning your business to win large government contracts. So keep that in mind. But also imagine if you were getting 50 new contracts per year. most of which are valued at $20,000 or more. This is definitely attainable, right? And just keep in mind, I'm using modest numbers here. $20,000 is a little bit of nothing for the government, right? So these contracts, imagine duplicating that or tripling that, right? So let's just start with $20,000 for 50 contracts per year. Imagine if you got paid to provide the same service or product that you already have, but you only have to work 2 to 4 days out the month for that. That's powerful, right? So imagine if customers started faithfully sending you requests for proposals and referring your business to other agencies, asking you to provide products and services for their company or paying top dollars for your products and services outright. Here's my story, a little bit more about me, you guys. Now, when I started my business, I didn't know really what I was doing. I just know I needed a business license and I had an idea, right? I knew I wanted to get into video production and also photography. But since then, my business has evolved into a multimedia company. So it's video, photo, web, and graphic. But how did I get into that? And how did I end up finding this trillion-dollar industry? So like my contracts came from construction photography, like taking pictures. So once I realized how lucrative the construction industry is and how construction dollars is tied to the government, whether it's federal or state or local, that's government contracting. And every contract has a percentage or goal that they have to utilize a woman-owned business, a minority-owned business, or disadvantaged business, or somebody with a disability, or who came from the Navy or the military, like a disabled vet, right? And this is just one example. So how I landed my first $70,000 contract. Now, I'm gonna pause right here because this is the very, very, very first contract I ever landed, and I knew absolutely nothing about contracting. Like I said before, I didn't have no portfolio. I didn't have no example of what a contract is supposed to look like. I didn't know what I was doing, period. I was just throwing information out there, and I landed this contract, right? And it was to take pictures on the Transbay Transit project, which is the largest just Grand Central station basically in San Francisco that they built. So I was able to land this contract, but thinking outside the box, not just as a photographer, but a photographer who can provide construction photos or documentation of the process of your construction process. So this is the first $70,000 project that I landed. They actually did a review, a news article of my business and success as a small business who was able to land a contract like this. But how did I do it? I had to learn what it took for me to be able to take advantage of these goals, just utilizations, right? So I had to learn how to get my company certified as a small business and get all the appropriate certifications needed for me to be able to land some of these contracts. And I'll go into some of that in just a moment. But then here's what happened to me. Me, the small business, not knowing what I was doing, I landed another one. And then another one, and then another one. So 25,000, 60,000, 35,000. Then I just start, getting used to just what they're looking for and how to leverage my certifications to get these contracts. Now thinking photographer, but there's stuff for catering. There's stuff for water bottles. In fact, I'm going to take a moment and show you some of the spending that I found out there. And I know that, some of you are in various industries. We have consultants on here. I know that I'm going to share my screen right here. Let me see. I see that Shay hopped on. Hi, Shay. But definitely hold your questions for the end. 1 second. Okay. So I'm just going to type in because I know that she's got her own network, has their own water bottling company. So where they have, I think it's called Eon Water. But I'm going to put in, just for the heck of it, water bottle. So this is NAICS.com, N-A-I-C-S. So this is the code that you would need to understand what industry you're in. So here we are with bottled water manufacturing, and it has a code right here. This is one of the services that she provides. So what I'm going to do with this information is I'm going to go over to usaspending.gov, and I'm going to type in for 2018 and 2017, under this NAICS code for water bottle manufacturing and click submit. So this will show you how many contracts was given out to small businesses under the water bottle manufacturing NAICS code. And this is like from, well, let me see, let's put the date in. Okay, so starting from 2018 all the way down to 2017. So, and look at these, the numbers here. So a lot of times people go to like ballparks or events and they may stand outside and sell water bottles, you know, for like $1 or $2. But imagine getting a customer, the top paying customer, which is the government agencies, state, local, city agencies that purchase your water bottles for a $16,000 contract, right? For a $22,000 contract, right? So you're now not just selling water bottles in cases, but you're selling it in pallets, right? So just for the heck of it, I'm gonna show you some other examples. So for 2018, 2017, I know that there are some caterers, right? Wait, oh wait, cater. Okay, so caterers. I know a lot of caterers, right? Contracts. Okay, so most of the time caterers, local small business caterers, you know, they may cater your event and you may pay them like what, $1,500 or $2,000 or less. I don't really know what's out there, but imagine being a caterer and getting paid now for one event $6,000, right, to cater an event. Or how about this, $776,000, or however much, $200,000 for a catering event. These are just some of the examples. And I know we have Yada on here. She's one of she's actually a lady who I recently met on Facebook, who teaches the same thing, or she's building a course on teaching about government contracts. And she has actually won her first contract, not knowing anything the same kind of way. So we were able to connect. But she has this this Beat Bib website where, you know, it's like for putting on makeup without just messing up your clothes. But the reason why I brought this up is because I put in bibs. So just as an example to find out, under bibs, I put in bibs, and what came up here was bibs and aprons, this code right here. And just for the heck of it, I decided to go over here and find out how much does the government spend on just this particular product. So I put in the NAICS code right here under cut and sew manufacturing. And then here we go again. Several contracts that shows up for bibs and aprons. So like I said, it doesn't matter what it is that you do. There are contracts out there for you guys. So I'm going to get back to the presentation, but I just wanted to give you an example of how to find out how much money is being spent on your industry. So you definitely want to know your NAICS code, and then you take it over to usaspending.gov and check out and find out how many contracts. But and then you're going to learn how to get those contracts. So let me go back to the presentation here. More contracts I was able to land. 35,000, 20,000, 40,000, and you see where it says here photography. So that's like my photo work. But then here's the big one. Here's another thing that happened to me. I learned how to partner with other people. I learned 3 different ways to make money in this same industry: as a prime, as a sub, and as a partner, right? So as a sub, I landed my first $375,000 contract most recently. Now this because I partnered with a company who won this together. This together is about $9 million, right? So out of this $9 million, $375 is nothing to them. But what would that do for you as a small business owner? That's huge, right? So imagine if I could show you how to land 8%, this is just hypothetically speaking, of a $12 million contract. Would you want me to help you with that? Would you want my help? So in this program, I I reveal to people this $1 trillion secret that's helped me to grow my business because I'm passionate about helping other people. But also I know that what you will do, with that business success is contribute back to your community and to turn around and help somebody else and to build legacy businesses, because we don't have a lot of legacy businesses no more in the African American community, no matter where you are. So you're in the right place if you're thinking, I want to start my own business, but I don't know how. Can I really start my own business and not have to worry about stability? Now, these contracts give you financial stability, right? Can I be successful working for myself? Is there something out there to help me get ahead as a small business? And does the government really buy the products and services that I provide? You're in the right place if you're thinking that. I just showed you, no matter what it is, like I've typed in bibs and you saw contracts under bibs and aprons, right? That's real money, water, right? So the $1 trillion secret to government contracting, here's a fact. Did you know that every government agency, right, private corporation, also has an obligation to give a certain percentage of all their contracts to certified small businesses, right? Typically, any business that has under 50 employees and makes under 14 million is considered a small business. And the guidelines for micro small businesses is even less than that. These numbers vary depending on what industry you're in. But the point of the story is that, say, for instance, the gas and electric company procures $200 million per year for services. Procurement means they write contracts. If their mandated goal is to give 6% of these contracts to a certified woman-owned business, that will mean there's $12 million on the table that you can partake in. Like I said, again, it doesn't matter what it is that you do. You just have to learn to think a little bit outside of the box, right? So if you're a retail wholesaler or a retail person, you have a store, you have to think about, okay, not just your own brand, but can you provide military uniforms? Can you provide shoes? Can you provide backpacks or weapons, right? Have you guys all saw the movie War Dogs? That's exactly what this is, War Dogs. So the $1 trillion secret to government contracting, here's, and the reason why I say trillion is because if you look at these numbers over here, it says 2.5 trillion. And this is the budget for 2018. We're still in 2018, but so far to date, this is how much was spent on businesses, on small businesses, $2.5 trillion. Now, what if I told you there's no limit to how many contracts you can have? You can have multiple contracts simultaneously, as long as you perform those contracts, right? So don't take on more work than what you can actually handle, or take on enough to where you can start, delegating and building your business with other partners, right? Or building staff, right? But anybody can do this no matter what products or services that you have. And then what if I told you the government pays you 3 to 4 times more than any private company or any private client? And it's true. Could you land multiple, you can also land multiple contracts on the same project by subcontracting. I'm gonna give you an example of that. So there was a contract at the Port of San Francisco, where I'm from. And it was, I think it was like, they had a contract for like, I don't know, let's just throw out a number. It was about $300,000, something roughly around that. But out of that $300,000, they wanted to break it into 3 teams. So every firm received $100,000. So me as a sub, now these are contracts to provide communication services, public relations communication services. Okay, it's not photography, but does photography fit in that? Yeah, it does. It's not event, it's not catering, but do these communications, public relations people have events, right? Yeah, so catering falls into that. Anything falls into that. They need flyers, design, graphic design, all of that. So what I did was I submitted a proposal to each of those firms to provide photography and video services. And each of those firms that landed a contract, I also landed a contract when they landed a contract. So that's how I was able to get 3 contracts on the same one project. So in this business, you can be creative, right? So there's 2 primary ways to land a contract. One, as a prime contractor. That means if there's a contract, if you're a web designer and they have a contract for web design, then you can go after that contract as a prime, right? And there's subcontracting. If there's a public relations contract or communications contract that has a scope of web design and you're a web designer, then you can partner with a prime contractor who provides communication services, and you just do the web development part of that. So you can land contracts in 3 different ways, but these are the 2 top ways. You can also land contracts on the local level. That's with your city and state. So I'm sorry, with your city and county. On the regional level, that's with your state and where you are in your state. And then on a federal level, that's anywhere in the U.S. So you can definitely actually scale your business and grow your business across the U.S. You know, but like I said, you don't want to take on more than what you can actually handle unless you partner with other businesses that are similar to yours in other states and then sub out the work to them. So here are the different types of certifications. Local business enterprise, we have minority business enterprise, SBE, micro SB, WBE, there's a lot of them. Economically disadvantaged woman-owned small business, there's the LGBT certifications, and then this disabled veteran business enterprise as well. And the more you qualify for, you want to get certified in all of those areas. So what do you need to get certified? Basically, everything that you really need to build your business the right way. This is when you're building your business the right way, not half doing it, half stepping it, and just getting a business license and rolling out, right? But definitely when you're getting your EIN, your Dun and Brad number, which also helps you to build business credit. If you have 2 years of taxes, you've been business for a couple of years already, you would need 2 years of business taxes. If you've never started a business or don't have business taxes, you could use personal taxes. A business license. So when you form your entity as an LLC, you still will need a business license at your local city. So definitely these are the things that you need. Lease agreement. This is where you're doing business, whether it's your home address or if you have a brick and mortar office, storefront, or a virtual office. You will need a birth certificate, which would approve your citizenship and also if your ethnicity, right? A copy of your ID or driver's license. Profit and loss statement is basically how much you made minus how much your expenses were. The bottom line is your profit and loss statement. Bank signature. So you definitely will need a business bank account, not in your own social security number or in your own name, but actually a business bank account number that they utilize your articles of incorporation to in your EIN to open that account. So you need a bank signature card is what you sign upon opening that account. Articles of incorporation is the document you use to get your EIN established or your corporation. I'm sorry, not EIN established, to get your LLC established or your corporation. And then if you have a C Corp, of course you would have a Schedule K for stocks. If none of this makes any sense to you, then definitely you want to link up with either myself or she's got her own network to help you get the business foundation out the way. You have to have your business foundation solid before you can move to the next level. Now, getting certified, here's just examples, some of the example agencies, right? And this is just an example. City treasurer, so if you ever do financial literacy, credit repair, anything that has to do with money, finance, literacy, definitely the city treasurer is just one example of a local agency you can get contracts with. The fire department, unified school district, if you have training programs, or if you do photography, you can get in there doing school photos. Caltrans, the Department of Transportation has so many contracts for small contractors. I mean, that's for like if you do electrical, painting, outreach, whatever. BART, this is just a local, basically train or subway here where we are in San Francisco or California. PG&E, that's just the gas and electric company. AT&T, these are suppliers that provide services. These are all the companies you can get, you can get contracts with. These are just some of the agencies. The airport. So for caterers, you can actually get your food service inside the airport. There's contracts for that. Park and rec. And then over here, this is a whole nother ball game, but this is just a peek to let you know there's corporation type of contracts. This is non-governmental. It's a whole different program, but these are some of the companies like the 500 Fortune, Kaiser, Chevron, Wells Fargo. Like they have their own contracting system. It's called the supplier diversity. But just to let you know, as a small business, you don't have to be a struggling small business. You just have to get the knowledge, right? And then you have to do what it takes to position your business to win these contracts so that you're able to grow and scale your business and do it successfully. So this is an invitation. But before I get to the next part of the webinar, I want to stop for a second and then see if you guys have any questions so far? Any questions? Hi, Megan. Hi, Dana. Hi, Latanya. Who else jumped on? Shay. Hello, everybody. Okay, so I saw it looked like Shay, you had a question. You raised your hand.
I did. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Oh, so at first I was wondering how could I hear it? How could I join? Because I could see you, but I couldn't hear you. But now I'm wondering, because I wanted to start a nonprofit, like geared towards teen kind of parents. And now I'm thinking more like a step before that, kind of like an outreach, something like that. What do you think? I just wanted to hear your thoughts.
Like as far as starting your business, whether it's profit, yeah. So I mean that would be up to you. If you want to start a profitable, I mean that's really your own decision. If you want to make your business profitable or do something that's a community based, organization wise. But regardless of what type of entity you establish, there's still contracts out there for you. So they have contracts that set aside specifically for nonprofits as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So actually just I'm in the process of finishing up certifications for a lady in Pittsburgh who has a nonprofit, and she teach like a youth after school program. So yeah, so she has her certifications. But for anything like that, then you're thinking about parent training program, after school programs, summer programs, like that type of stuff. But also nutritional, providing nutrition. So it's like different, but it does exist. So there are contracts for that. So it doesn't matter what type of entity you have. It's just, you have to know exactly what it is that you want to do. And I don't know if you were on the webinar earlier when I looked up NAICS.com, you have to understand what your industry code is. So you have to look it up. So sometimes it may not come up under exactly what you call it, right? But you have to try different keywords and be like, and it'll give you a description, and you just say, oh yeah, that's what I do, right? And then you can just look up under USA Spending, are there contracts for this? And then you know that you're in a winning industry.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. That was very helpful.
Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna get back to webinar. I'm gonna mute you guys again. Okay, so the invitation. So I designed a new master class. It's called the Contracts Readiness Accelerator Program. Now that's how to grow your business with government contracts. Now my Contracts Readiness Accelerator Program is a 6-week program where I work with you once a week in a small intimate group setting. So there's limited seating because I like to keep it in small groups so that you can get the mind share of other people that's in a group as well. It's like a brain trust. So you get direct coaching from me, and you receive my personal feedback, guidance, and support. What sets this program apart from any other small business program that you may see is that I developed it in a 3-step simple process to where it's just business, certifications, and proposals. So we rinse and repeat that. So once your business foundation is set right, then all we're doing is getting certified, and then we're submitting proposals, and then we're rinsing and repeating that. So that's my 3-step BCP methodology.